might have noticed there's an election going on. And these days, as well as the major political parties, you get a host of political groups representing a particular viewpoint or a single issue. You've got your Darren Hinch Justice Party, the Help End Marijuana Prohibition Party, the Shooters, Fishers and Farmers, the Pirate Party and the Arts Party. I've never been this close to power before.
I know, it must be a thrill for you. Can we talk to you about the arts?
No.
He's gone. Hi folks, please support the Arts Party.
This is comedian Anthony Ackroyd.
People just love me.
In some ways, he's no stranger to politics. When Kevin Rudd was PM, Anthony was working round the clock.
Language is just so complicated.
Now he still does stand-up, runs comedy workshops, and he's running for the Senate in Tasmania for the Arts Party.
Anthony, you let a baby get away. You can't do that.
This is his first day on the hustings.
Why did you stop to talk to Anthony Ackroyd about the Arts Party?
Because he had an eye-catching brochure. Would I vote for you in the Senate?
Yeah. Just say yes.
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 That is 1.5 votes.
The Arts Party has a very serious intention.
This could look like performance art, right?
It could. Yeah. But no, the Arts Party is there to advocate for the arts, put the arts on the agenda in the upcoming election.
Right. What do you think you can achieve, though? I mean, this is people are only concerned about the economy. People are only concerned about sort of the issues that they're made to be fearful of and this sort of stuff. What is this going to achieve?
Well, I think that's the perception that people are only interested in the economy, and that's what politicians, the political class, pander to. But it's the politics of self-expression. It's the politics of everyone counts and everyone has something to say and everyone has a creativity that's very valuable to our nation.
Anthony is just one of many candidates around the country. The whole thing was started by PJ Collins in his home office. The party crowdfunded itself into existence, and while the elections have brought things to a head, they've been at it for 2 years.
It's a burning issue in this country right now, support for the arts and the creative industries.
Why is this the best way to address the problems you're describing? Why an arts party? How effective is it going to be?
In the line of the conga line of organisations and peak bodies and representation with their begging bowls coming to the federal government wanting a handout for their cause or their issue, it seems right at the end of that conga line is the arts. And when you look at it, the one thing that unites all politicians of every persuasion is that they all love votes. So if people use their votes to vote and show their support for the arts, they will send a clear message to whoever gets in and whoever is in opposition that Australians care about their cultural life and we can change the future of this country. The only way to cut through is to play the politicians at their own game.
They have to support the arts, and that means financially support it and not think it's some little plaything.
PJ has managed to get the support of some high-profile figures who share his concern that none of the major parties give the arts a high priority.
Okay? Yes.
What should government be doing for the arts in Australia?
Oh, well, for a start, they should be tripling support for the small to medium-sized organisations across the country. There should be a whole raft of support in tax breaks and other ways to promote the creative industries in this country.
You're not particularly favouring one party or the other?
No, as I say, we're not a left thing or a right thing. Arts and culture is an everything for our future. What we want to see is a new renaissance, a new explosion of creativity in this country.
It's easy to have solid policies on a single issue, but what about everything else? What's your view on negative gearing?
We have a policy on negative gearing, which you can find at artsparty.org.
Well, we haven't come up with a defence policy, to be honest. Too many other things to focus on. But
I want to know the defence policy of the Arts Party. What's your realistic expectation on July 2nd?
1 million votes for the arts. 1 million votes for the arts.
Do the major parties notice that sort of thing? Would they notice that there was 1 million votes for the arts?
I think they could not miss it, and they would have to respond. If by some fluke luck we managed to get a senator for the arts elected, that would be the ultimate gift for Australia.
But really, it all comes down to this. How will the Arts Party go on July 2? Well, luckily within the building, we have someone who's rather good at answering that kind of question. Anthony Green, excuse me butting in, but July 2, Australian Arts Party goes into the election. How do you think they're going to go?
I don't think they'll go very well. They might get 0.5% of the vote if they're lucky.
That's not enough to get anybody in?
No, certainly not.
Ladies, the Arts Party, read it on the way home. It'll change your life. The Arts Party can be a disruptor in this election because we're not going to look like politicians, we're not going to talk like politicians, and we're presenting a completely different vision of what Australia could be like. And I think that's going to appeal to many people. So the Arts Party.
Well, since we spoke to Anthony and PJ, the issue of arts funding has come into sharp relief. At the end of the week, the Australia Council announced its funding for small to medium companies around Australia. And as expected, unfortunately, many well-known and highly regarded companies have lost their money. Jay Margetts reports.
Described as the most savage cuts in living memory. Even the critically acclaimed dance company Force Majeure says its superior strength is under threat.
We're all heartbroken. At the moment we're sad, we're grieving, but there is also a really strong kernel of anger that has been burning since May last year.
That's when the federal government stripped $100 million from its arts funding body, the Australia Council. A third of that was later returned, but the writing was already on the wall.
We did know that there was bad news ahead and that there was going to be a bloodbath, and now what we're seeing is that that's eventuated.
Now the victims of those cuts have been revealed, and there are more than 50 facing an uncertain future, job losses and even the risk of closure. Melbourne's Ilbidgery Theatre Company was one of the lucky ones, but it's bittersweet.
I've been very fortunate to be one of the ones still standing, and yet I can still feel the blood splatters on my arms from either side. Yeah, it's been really bleak.
The Australia Council says it was always intended that fewer companies would be funded at a higher level and that there would be regular project grants.
These reforms, we believe, are the most efficient and effective way, this new way of investing in the arts in Australia.
But there's concern that cuts to these grassroots companies will mean the larger ones will have less talent in the future.
What you'll end up with is a very boring, dry, contracted cultural environment.
A risk that few are willing to take.